verified, okay, next time the actual packet data will be shared between this mobile session to mobile to BSC to SGSN, and further it will be released through this GGSN, who is responsible to manage the outside of the public network based on that is a database network, that is packet database network. Okay, so this is how does it works. Now remember, okay, that whoever see, okay, so this is how does the internet works in GPRS. Okay, now remember one more thing. If we considered any example, okay, let's say there is any server. Okay, so server, this is suppose server. See, before drawing this, first of all I would like to clear the all notations. I hope you have understood the flow. Okay, you can go through my previous sessions also, how it is the flow is and which are the activated components in this case. And remember, I didn't mention right now this is the role of OMC, but OMC, but all time this OMC is also activated. Okay, so let me clear all notations. Okay, and I'll just only mention the components okay, which are activated in the next step once the connection, the secured connection is established for internet purpose between your internet service provider and your mobile station. Okay, so here now consider a very simple example. I am going to consider like this user is trying to open some web page from server. Okay, let's say this is Google's web server. Okay, and user wishes to search for google.com as a home page. Okay, so I'm just mentioning it as a server here. So this is server here. Now suppose, okay, now you can consider for understanding purpose, let's say this user is connected to the internet service provider, and right now user is able to access internet through secured link established between the end device and the internet service provider and further also. Okay, so in this case again the Google wish to open, let's say, Google web page, that is the URL is google.com. okay, so through that when the user is going to type this URL within web browser, some information will be fetched from the another end, that is from server to this mobile device. Okay, that is what we mean to say is, when this user is going to search google.com as URL within its web browser, okay, some request will be delivered to the Google's web server. Okay, and based on that the response will be delivered from the Google's web server. Okay, so in short, this response will include the source code to okay, the source code which will be loaded into the web browser of this end user, and then only this user will have the output as the Google's home page. In short, that code will be loaded into the web browser of this end user, and the user will have output of that Google's home page. Okay, so this is a very simple client server architecture or client server communication based example. Okay, you can consider it in another example also. So now consider the same example again. Okay, so if we are talking about right now the GPRS architecture. So what will be flow is, okay, initially we have already learned how does the connection will be established between ISP and this end user, how does the secured link will be established between this end user and internet service provider, who is going to manage each component, who were the activated participants or components from the GSM and from the GPRS architecture. Okay, so now the link is already established. Okay, and the flow will be managed from this end device to BTS to BSC. Okay, directly now this BSC will transfer the information to the SGSN. Okay, and through SGSN, after verifying from HLR, it will be delivered to the GGSN. Okay, and through the public network, which is based on specially database network or packet database network, okay, it will be delivered to the server, end server. Okay, so this is how the actual network based information will be delivered. Okay, so obviously once the secured connection is established, through the same route only the information will be exchanged. Okay, now we are not considering about the routings, because it will include a list of local routers, global router, public routers, and so on within this network also. Okay, and the through same established link only, okay, the server is going to respond to the end device. Okay, and the requested information will be again delivered back, that is the Google's homepage source code in short. Okay, so in short, this in outside network, outside world will try to interact with GGSN only, and GGSN will accordingly convert this information. It will divert this to the SGSN. Okay, now here also I have specially mentioned one more thing here, that all time this SGSN is going to verify the all user details from this HLR. Okay, and obviously somehow not all time, but when it is being required, this MSC, okay, may try to interact with AUC and EAR also. Okay, when it is being required, not all time, but when it is being required. And at the same time also this OMSA is also little bit activated sometime. Okay, when it is being required for internet purpose also. So I hope you have understood the flow. Okay, now remember again, you can consider another example also. Okay, instead of this, okay, let's say see, why does this SGSN is again verifying the details from HLR. Okay, we already learned so many things, like which kind of services have been subscribed by that end user, what is the remaining subscription about it, calling, SMS or internet usage, and so on. So everything will be verified all time while using internet also. Okay, so now instead of this, you can consider another example also using GPRS architecture. Like this end user is searching on internet for let's say through YouTube. Okay, let's say that user might be using some or accessing some URL for any video file, suppose. Okay, and after establishing a successful network between this end devices through this GPRS network, okay, again from that end server, that is Google's web server, the information will be delivered again through same way. Okay, and this user will have the desired output based on the video streaming file or any asked file also. So this is the flow. Okay, so whatever the application is used by this mobile device for internet purpose, so you can mention the name of that application, you can mention the URL of that particular website or server, and you can mention the end user as server also. Okay, and instead of that server also, you can mention another end user also. Instead of server, you can mention here another end server also, end the end user also you can mention instead of this server. Like the communication is happening through internet using smartphones, that is two end devices are nothing but this is first end device and this is another end device. So it's up to you which sort of connection or examples you are going to consider. So it is again based on your requirement. So now you can see here that one more part is here, that is VLR. Okay, so this VLR is going to again manage the foreign users information. This is first thing. Now second thing is, if our this user who has subscribed under this ISP basically, okay, internet service provider, so if that user has entered into foreign network, again this VLR is going to manage the information of that particular end user. So right now don't get confused. Okay, you can consider just from either of the example, that is when any foreign user is entered into this ISP's network, and through this ISP's network, if that user wishes to use internet services, okay, which has been also any internet based services, if that foreign user wishes to use, okay, so everything will be again managed by through that GGSN and by this VLR, okay, who is responsible to manage the visitors information basically, okay. And again the flow will be same, so don't get confused, and don't remember in such a way that like in this case only this VLR is active if the foreign user has entered into this ISP's network. See, what do I mean to say? We considered again the same example, okay, like same example in the sense, considered, say there is one more end user, or one more user has entered into this ISP's network. Now this time suppose this user has registered within the another ISP's network, that is this user is subscribed under the services of another ISP, okay. So right now this user is considered as foreign user, so I am just writing here as foreign user, suppose FN. So this is a foreign user, okay. Now this foreign user wishes to use services, that is services comes under GPRS through this ISP basically, okay, internet service. This ISP is different, and that foreign user is from another ISP suppose, okay. So again the flow will be, and again it has to pass through all steps, that is connection request, registration, the agent allocation. Obviously foreign agent will be allocated for this end user who is considered as a foreign user basically, okay. So right now if we are talking about again the internet usage for that particular foreign user, so again the flow will be from BTS to BSC, okay, through SGSN, okay. Let me consider another color, okay. So this foreign user will have internet access through BSC, through SGSN, through GGSN, and through public network, okay. So now again through this public network, it will be actually connected to the his own internet service provider. See, for understanding purpose, okay, I am not able to draw within same diagram only, so here you can consider this as ISP2, okay, where that user has been subscribed or registered, okay. So this is ISP2, okay. So just try to remember the sequence or flow again, okay, very important thing, don't get confused, okay. So when this ISP1 will provide network access to this foreign user, okay, who is subscribed under this ISP2 services, okay, and who wishes to connect to the internet, that is who wishes to access, or let's consider again same example, like the home user was using youtube.com or google.com as one sort of information, he is looking for that information. So similar user, this user also wishes to search on internet under ISP one's network, suppose this ISP. So again, once establishing a secured connection, okay, through that ISP, and what was the flow is also we already seen, okay. In short, this foreign user will be connected to its own ISP itself through ISP, and in short this foreign user is able to use the services of that ISP2 itself only, where that user has subscribed, okay. So it's not like this ISP that user is using ISP1 services. So in short, ISP is in short working as middle middle actor or user between this foreign user and ISP2 itself. So let's consider it again. The ISP, the foreign user has gone through all mentioned steps, and right now user is looking to search for some data. So what will be flow in that case is again the foreign user to BTS to PSC to through SGSN through GGSN, again all time through VLR. Okay, just as a record purpose it will be kept or verified from VLR, and again remember same thing will happen. Okay, again just for as a record purpose everything will be stored or verified, and then only it will be processed or it will be transferred further. Okay, so it has to follow some protocols. See, in short, in previous case what I had told you is the home user is verified from another end. The home user was verified for everything. It might be from EIR, it might be from AUC, but in this case for foreign user, okay, this thing is just only for record purpose it will be verified, but there is no any link between the foreign user and this ISP1. Okay, because VLR is going to store all event all relevant information of that particular end user. So this has to be verified from this ISP also, which kind of device is being used by that end user, and to check under which ISP this user is registered. So SIM and MS ISDN details also has to be stored for record purpose. So this all information will be stored into VLR, and then only it will be this user will be diverted to the ISP2 only. Okay, so again through that this through public network again it will be connected to its own ISP2, that is its own internet service provider. Okay, and obviously same thing will happen here. This ISP2 will be connected through the data network again. Okay, obviously we are looking through internet only, that is packet database network only, that is data network based information only. So through that network or internet or public internet in short, further it will be connected to that server. Okay, so this will be the flow. How does the foreign user will be connected to the server to which that user is actually communicating or downloading some content, or how does the communication is happening between the end server and the foreign user, and so on. Okay, and based on that this server will respond. Okay, very simple thing. Okay, like this was just only a request in first time. This was just a request was delivered from the Google's web server, because right now the foreign user is looking for youtube.com as a website. So based on that this server, the Google's web server will respond, and the flow will be again from this server to the internet service provider 2. Okay, again from internet service provider through this public network. Okay, again it will be received by this ISP1, that is it will be managed by GGSN, again through this SGSN. Okay, again it will be delivered to the end device, that is foreign user. See, very interesting thing and very important thing even though. Okay, just try to see the part how does the foreign user is using GPRS services, okay, to fetch any information. How does this server is interacting with the internet service provider 2, and how does this ISP2 is transferring this information to the ISP1, and from ISP1 how it is being transferred to the foreign user. So I hope you have understood now. Okay, what will be the flow? How does the foreign user is going to access the services from foreign network to his own network also. So I hope you have understood now what is GPRS, how does it works, and what is the role of home ISP, or what is the role of another ISP also, and how does this GPRS works. So I hope you have understood this. Okay, so in short, if you see, okay, those points here till GGSM, okay, all components you should know, because those components are related to the GSM and GPRS. Okay, so I hope you have almost understood what is GSM architecture, what is GPRS architecture. Okay, if you have gone through the syllabus, even though this GPRS and GSM are also very important thing. Okay, even though in day-to-day life we are using internet, okay, in traditional days GPRS was used very and nowadays we are using 3G and 4G. It is fine, but you should know what is GSM and GPRS also. So I hope you have understood it in a very better way. So just try to go through again the previous sessions before starting with today's session, so that it will be better to understand how does the mobile telecommunication system works for GPRS architecture.